So, tonight we are talking about financial trauma and scarcity mindset. Now, from my own experience, I know that really comes from not having parents, or a parent, I should say, in my case, that really knew um, not so much about saving, but I think it's more so the right mindset of what it takes to build wealth. And I know in the Black community, there we fall behind in terms of leaving an inheritance. Typically, when someone or the head of the family passes away, a lot of times for us, we have to have GoFundMe's and things like that because we don't invest in life insurance and things of that nature to make sure that our kids are set up and they can have, just some kind of future and set them up properly financially. So, what has been well, actually, before I tell you that, so drawn from my own personal experience, I know for me, my scarcity mindset stemmed from not only having a parent that was just focused on working to save in 401k, because we didn't even do like family trips with my mom. When I was younger, anytime we went, or I personally went out of town or out of the state, I was with another family member. And in my adulthood, that transferred or looked like me not going anywhere, having vacations and things like that because I just didn't have the mindset or know how to have money put aside to do those kind of extracurricular things for entertainment, to join in on things. And then when I did, my money was gone just like that. So I would leave and still not be able to really enjoy myself because that's just not something I grew up with, right? So, what in your expertise, especially as it relates to, I know you have expertise in Black studies, how does, I would say, even oppression, systematic oppression, really translate that and why the average Black family has that kind of mindset?
All right. There's a lot there, and there's not one simple answer to that because it's complicated. It's kind
Mm-hmm.
of like, well, what ingredient do you need to bake a cake?
Yeah, all of them.
Exactly. And depending upon the type of cake you want to create, you might need different amounts of different ingredients. And so I'm willing to look at aspects of that. The first one,
Yeah.
since you brought up the concept of racism, I think the biggest part of racism is this narrative of what is normal.
Mm-hmm.
It's this is what you should do. This is how you should live. This is what you should want. And for no other reason than it's because it's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And since we're the referred to as the dominant group, uh, you want to be like us, so do what we do. Without ever asking, well, why do they do those things? And if I choose not to do those things, is that a bad thing? Is there, or if I choose to do them, is that automatically a good thing? What are those things? Well, specifically looking at what you were referring to, vacationing. I
Mm-hmm.
asked the first question: who said you were supposed to go on vacations? And what part of human history did we focus ourselves on trying to put up enough money to go somewhere else besides where we currently are? Like,
Well,
I
I
mean,
think that comes from just, vacationing and leaving your hometown out of state or out of the country. It exposes you to other cultures, different things versus what's just in your backyard. So for the experience, so you can see what is possible, what other things are out there, because I feel like if you don't expand your mind outside of that, then that trickles over into other areas of you being comfortable and complacent, no?
comfortable and complacent. I don't necessarily agree. that it
Okay.
would create that. Because what if you like where you are?
Okay. That I
Many
can
of us,
understand.
and I'm not saying one's right and one's wrong. I think it's that
Hmm.
diurnal logic. It can be both and. Like you can really, really love where you are. You could also really hate where you are, or you could love aspects of going, or you can just maybe traveling isn't really your interest. You're like, I'm not a. There are some places that I would like to experience. There aren't a lot of them.
Hmm.
They're just people like, oh, I just want to go see France. I said, why? Because I want to see the Eiffel Tower. I said, why? Because I just think it would be so cool. Go see it and see how long the cool feeling lasts.
Man, and thanks to
Not even
social
minutes.
media, it's like I've seen videos of people that kind of had that idea and then they get there and then you get the realistic view of the Eiffel Tower and it's like, oh, well, that's underwhelming. Thanks for saving me the money for that trip. So I get that
Exactly.
perspective too.
I think part of this colonialistic mindset is that we've shifted away from community, family, and that being the high point. Just imagine let's I'm gonna oversimplify this, but imagine going back not that many generations to a time where just the weekly community gathering, we just gather and we'd eat and there'd be the musicians would play instruments, maybe one of the elders would tell a story, and that would be like the high point of the week. Just
Hmm.
like community, communing with people. That's dope. It's just, but we've gotten away from that. Where that's like, man, I can't wait till Friday where we all get together and we share and we have fun and we enjoy each other. And not to say that the other things are bad. It's just this mindset that if I don't do those other things, and I haven't lived. You ain't lived until you went swimming in the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, I've done it. So am I
Now
living
what?
now? You ain't
Right.
lived till you went to the motherland. Okay, I've done it. So now am I doing it now? You ain't lived until you bought a house. Okay, I've done it. So now you ain't lived until you bought a luxury car. Okay, now I've done it. Am I living now? And it's like as soon as I hit one of those goals, I'm like, I think we missed the point. So here's the thing: if you genuinely want to go see the world, you in your heart of hearts, you genuinely want to do it. Do it. But if you're just doing it because you live in a society that tells you if you don't, you haven't lived, let go of that colonialistic mindset. It will be a cause of stress.
Mm.
Whatever you do in life, you should be doing it because you genuinely want to do it, not because there's a system that tells you there's something wrong with you if you don't. College degrees. Eh, How many people we know with bachelor's degrees and master's degrees still broke or unhappy or
Yeah.
both? So you
Yeah.
did all of that and you still not happy? You still not happy. Hundreds of
Right.
thousands of dollars in debt. You still not happy. Then what was the point? So if again, I go back to I think the stress doesn't come from this mindset of not being able to pursue things that cost a lot of money.
Hmm.
I think the stress comes from thinking that that's the only way to receive happiness or experience happiness.
Mm. Okay. So then, same kind of scenario when speaking about inheritance almost. I know for me, like when my mother passed, she did have life insurance for myself and my sister. But unfortunately, when she passed, I wasn't in a stable situation. Like me and Kyra, we had to live in a hotel in an extended stay for like a month. So even though I was left a good amount, I was still operating out of survival mode. So, where in her mind, I'm sure it was, well, when I leave, I can leave my children something. Even for my sister's case, she was going through something financially where basically what she got went out the window as well. So in the instances where, you could put all the right systems in place, and then because we've been conditioned or grown up in environments where this scarcity mindset and financial trauma has been passed down, what would some good factors be from your perspective to as to why that happens and how someone can move out of that?
It has been taught to many of us that you're supposed to leave something for your children.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're asking me personally, this is an opinion, not a fact.
Mm-hmm.
I see some value in that, some value in it,
Okay.
because I would rather have been taught how to make money than just given a whole bunch of money. Because if you already know the numbers, an individual wins the lottery, what happens 3 to 5 years later?
Yeah, they're destitute again, back in the same financial space.
Because you thought the biggest problem in your life was that you didn't have money.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not. Money, not
Right.
having money is the symptom. It's not the disease. And to prove it, if we dumped a whole bunch of money in the hands of anybody who knows nothing about money, it's countdown to when it's gone. So what did your parents do? Let's just say they died and they left you $1 million. Life would be better temporarily. It would be. You'd have a few years where you'd feel freaking amazing. I've
Mm-hmm.
watched people who come into hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I watched them. And within a couple of years, they were right back to where they were. One man once said, instead of focusing on giving your kids the things you never had, teach them the things you never learned or were never taught. So it's one thing if I give my kids fish. It's a whole nother thing if I teach them how to fish. If I teach them how to fish and they lose that food or the fish spoils, they can go out and get some more. If I teach them how to make money or what to do with their money, if they go out there and they lose it all, they can get it again. Flip side, the average entrepreneur has 3 to 5 failed businesses on their way to find a successful one.
Mm-hmm.
We don't talk about loss. As we don't talk about loss, we think of loss as if it's the opposite of success. The struggle as if it's the opposite of success. When in actuality, the road to success is paved with perceived failures. I like to call them learning opportunities. Why in the world would you want to? Why in the world would you want to rob your children of learning opportunities?
True. But then
Second
what if
point.
that parent doesn't know the best way to get those opportunities to their kid, or how you say teaching them instead of leaving them the money, teaching them how to acquire it and build it, but they don't have those skills to pass on?
Then they can't. Just like you can't leave $1 million to your kids if you don't own $1 million. You can't give your kids anything you haven't. Which is why even at my age, I'm still developing me. I'm still growing. I'm still learning. I'm still pushing me because the more I learn, the more I'm still learning and passing it on, learning and passing it on. Yes, my children are adults now. I haven't stopped teaching them. As I learn new things, I break bread with them and we share these things. I'm like, yes, I would have loved to have taught you these things 15 years ago. I didn't know them 15 years ago, but I know them now. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to teach you now. And then you're going to, if you decide to have children, you'll teach your children these things. But what you're not going to do is just give them money. What you're not going to do is make life easy and comfortable for them. The one quote is, hard times make strong people. Strong people make soft times. Soft times make weak people. Weak people make hard times. It's circular.
Mm.
I don't want to make life easier for my children. I have zero interest in trying to make life easier for my children. My goal is to make them tough enough so that no matter what comes to them in life, they can handle it. It's the question about the bird. How come birds look so comfortable on branches of trees? They don't trust the tree.
All right,
They
they
trust their
touch
wings.
like.
I want my children to learn to trust their wings. Then the tree doesn't matter. If this whole system falls apart and they believe in themselves and they got skills and they know how to get the information, this whole system falls apart. They'll learn the next one and they'll thrive there too.
I get
Now,
that.
ideally, if you could do both, Great. Teach the man, give them the money to get started with.
Hmm.
Great. I just, I've seen kids who were given everything. I don't want my kids to be
Yeah.
like those people.
Yeah. Do, do you think by just giving them, like, say, if their parents thought that giving them was enough because they didn't have the skill set to teach them, or maybe they passed unexpectedly, maybe, you know, when they passed, their kids were still very young, so they weren't able to instill the skills that they would need to be able to maintain it. If they don't have it, it gives them a sense of entitlement at that point.
It could, because again, some everybody's different. You give one child a gift for their birthday and they're so appreciative of it and they want to take care of it. And
Hmm.
you give another kid the same gift and they're dogging it. They lost it by the end of the day. And it's like,
Hmm.
well, what's different? There's no, we want there to be one answer. There isn't one for any of this stuff.
Yeah.
Ultimately, each kid is different. There are some kids, I really believe if I just gave Brianna $1 million, she would be so responsible with it.
Hmm.
That's just her nature. She's just responsible by nature. I know I got a couple of sons that if I gave them $1 million, man, they about to ball out. That money gone in a week. It could, because they're different. But ultimately, my goal has been to help them figure out how are you going to live your life to the fullest. And money shouldn't be the measure by which you decide whether or not you're doing that.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest trick, is that we've been taught to quantify the value of our lives using a dollar amount.
Yeah. Materialistic things. Just
And
not
I,
even
I
just money, objects, personal possessions as well. So I get it.
a guy calls me at 7 o'clock in the morning, a kid from maybe 6, 7 years ago. I don't remember this kid, but apparently I gave him my phone number and I've kept my same phone number for like 2 decades.
Mm.
And he calls me at 7 o'clock in the morning. He's like, man, I came across your card and I just want to call and tell you thank you. He was like, I apologize. When I was in high school, you was trying to teach me some stuff and I wasn't ready to hear it. And then
Mm.
life did what life does. And while life was doing what life does, all the stuff you were telling me just came back to me. And after life happened, I was ready to learn then. And so I've been applying that stuff. And it's like, man, I just want to appreciate, because I ain't had no excuse. You tried to tell me, but I got it now. I'm figuring it out now. Those things matter.
Yeah.
Quick question.
Hmm.
Who's number 28 on the Forbes list?
No clue.
No clue. Great. Second question. Who was the most impactful teacher you had in from K through 12?
Uh, my typing teacher in 12th grade.
You think they made $1 billion a year?
Nah,
But do you remember them?
absolutely.
Have they left you something that's going to last with you when they're far gone?
Yes.
We've been taught to value the former, yeah, the former of the two and not the latter. We've been taught to focus on how much money people make, not the impact that you have. Like, all of us going to end up in the same spot. Worm food, all
Yeah.
of us. What have you done with your life? And then honestly, as I started reflecting upon the impact and the people I've been able to help, my gratitude level just went to 1,000.
Yeah. Ugh.
Because I'm
No.
like, hey Jake, hey, chill out. Hey, you've lived a really dope life. And I'm only at like the halfway mark. And I've already lived an amazing life worth writing a book about. But so it's like this. I I've done amazing in every area of life but one. Every area of life but one. Like, I literally sat down, looked at all the different areas of life, and the only area in life, I can only come up with one area in life where I was like, dang, I'm still failing in that area. One.
Hmm.
Imagine complaining about that.
Yeah, that's the one thing you focus on. And I think that also leads back into that mindset and that belief system of you grow up thinking or being told like, we don't got, you can't have McDonald's, ain't no McDonald's money. Right. And so you develop the belief of, well, there's just never any money for the things that I want to go and enjoy. But even to your point, what you mentioned in gratitude, that actually has been a major mind shifter for me over the past few years, where no matter what hardships I may go through, I'm always thankful, even for the rough spots. And that's one of the things that gets me through, because one, could always be worse. And two, even though it doesn't feel comfortable in the moment, there's a lesson that I can get from it. And then it's still building me for something later down the line.
I would ask parents, name a time that wasn't a miracle where you expressed gratitude so grand that your children took notice of it.
Mm,
I'm not talking about a miracle like, oh my goodness, like somebody gave me a car, or oh
yeah.
my goodness, I had cancer and all of something. No, no, no. Just when have they ever seen you express gratitude?
Hmm.
And we don't. So we raise ungrateful kids. We create this culture of, unless something big happens, I don't have to be thankful.
Yeah.
Part of it is that we've adopted this colonialistic mindset of what matters in life, and nothing should matter more than family. And by family, I don't mean blood. I mean the people you break bread with.
Yes.
Like, that should be the apex, your ability to impact their lives. What should bring you joy is that when you die, the world should miss your presence. But when most of us die, ain't nobody gonna know but your immediate family. Nobody gonna care, because we've been conditioned to spend your whole life focused on getting yours.
Yeah.
That's more of a Eurocentric mindset versus community,
Yeah.
family, tribe, village. When your goal is the village doing well, how can you be happy being a millionaire and all your family and friends is broke? It's the African concept of Ubuntu. I teach on this sometimes whenever appropriate. Ubuntu talks about um, being. It came about because, or was made popular by this story of this European dude who was over at some tribe in Africa, whatever. And if I'm murdering it, somebody kill me in the comments. But get the
Hmm.
gist of it. He was like, he was working with these kids, and he said, "Hey, I got this basket of fruit, and I put it over this tree on the other end of the field. Whoever gets to the basket of fruit first can have the whole basket of fruit." And he was like, "On your mark, get set, go." And all the kids linked over, linked their arms, and walked over together so that they arrived at the same time. And when he got there, he was like, "Why didn't you run? Like, if you ran, you could have had this whole basket to yourself." It's like the principle of Ubuntu. How can I be happy watching you suffer?
Hmm.
Like, we are one. I am because you are because I am. How can I be happy if we're really one? If you are an expression of myself, if you are another version of me, if we're literally one, how could I ever truly be fully happy if I have and you don't? Now, if you truly embrace that African principle, now apply it to money. Your whole shifting comes. It's not about, man, how do I get to a million? It's like, how do I get my people to the point where we all have more than what we need? How do I get my people to the point where we all live in abundance? Now, I'm not saying that we'll ever reach that point. I think most of us have been too colonialized to ever actually shift everything here, but we can get some.
Yeah.
Imagine, I'll put it this way: you want to find peace. Imagine, imagine getting to the point of millions, but it's just you. When you
Yeah.
go on those trips, who going with you?
Yeah.
Your friends can't go on no $1 million trips. They broke.
The
You think
thing
how come
is
the
that
word?
I'm like
No, go
that
ahead.
also plays into what you speaking about colonialism is the whole, and I know you spoke about this before, the whole crabs in the barrel concept where, you know, someone out the group makes it. Some of us are still so rooted in colonialism where we're like, well, I made it. See how you about to get there because I'm gone. Versus having that mindset of Harambe and pulling together, like, okay, I made it. Let me go back and reach behind and let's all work together. Because just even in my few years of being business, and this is my third coaching business that I've attempted, it seems
Oh, you on
like,
three?
yeah, right. It seems like every time that I've tried to partner with other people, then it ends up going south because they love what I help when I help and put my time and effort in to help them build. But then when the favor needs to be returned, then I'm SOL and I'm standing by myself.
Ah, good. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Why you say that?
You're a conduit. Life, energy, force, blessings,
Hmm.
whatever you want to call it, is supposed to flow through you. You don't expect to receive back from where you plant. Just like you come into people's lives randomly and be a blessing,
Hmm.
I want random people to come into my life and be a blessing. Because apparently the people who are already in my life can't get me to where I need to be. I need some random people from outside. Because if the people who are already there, here in my life could get me to that next level, I'd be at that
You'll
next
be
level.
there.
So we
True.
so focused on the people around us, them ain't the people supposed to be sent. So we get, there's a biblical principle. It says, give expecting nothing in return.
Hmm.
Give expecting nothing in return. Or an African principle, a wise man plants a tree on which, under which its shade, he'll never sit, something like that. Like you plant that tree knowing that by the time it's big enough to provide shade, you'll be long and gone. That's wisdom. But on the flip
Right.
side, every tree you've ever sat up under, you didn't plant. So if you get the
Yeah.
benefit from other people's planting, why is it that we don't have the mindset of other people benefiting from our planting? If everybody focuses on leaving the tree for the next person, everybody has a tree.
True. But then the flip side to that, what if you go into the agreement of we are helping each other, but then that effort is not reciprocated? Because I hear you. I'm all for. I understand that I chose to volunteer my time to in
Hmm.
whatever area. It doesn't even necessarily have to be someone's business. It could just be mental and emotional upliftment, planting that seed. And then whoever else comes after is going to water it, feed it, help it grow. I love that.
Hmm.
But when there is a mutual understanding that we are supposed to be helping each other, I help you, I pour into you, and you have stated that you are going to help me and pour into me. And then that doesn't happen because then that I got to where I basically you're being used. You helped me get to where I needed to be. Thanks. I'm kicking you off the ladder. Hope you get to where I am. When you literally help them get to where they are.
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
I believe in the conservation of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And because I believe in the conservation of energy, if I put that energy out, it has to come back to me.
Facts.
And the crazy part about it is the best thing they might have been able to do was get the heck out the way so that somebody better positioned can return that energy.
Facts. And I get
What
that.
was
That was a hard lesson for me to learn. Like this point in my life now, I'm definitely like that where it's like, dang, I thought this was gonna be, a mutual thing, and then it doesn't end up that way, and it's like, all right, well, God gonna bring that blessing back around some way, shape, or form.
sometimes the concept of mutuality is what we need in order to engage the behavior.
What you
And if
mean?
that's what you need, if you needed to believe that they was going to be looking out for you in order for you to look out for them,
Mm,
cool. That's what you need to believe in order to do it. But you was always supposed to look out for them.
Right.
That was again just what you needed to believe in order to engage in the activity.
Right.
It got your attention. It got you to where you need to go to do what you needed to do. After, but sometimes afterwards you find out like, oh, that wasn't for the reason that I thought it was. And so one of the things I also focus on is taking inspired action, doing the thing I feel inspired to do, but with
Mhm.
no insistence on the outcome. Do this because I feel I'm supposed to do it, not because I think I understand what the outcome of doing this is going to be.
Yeah.
That's inspired action. We want to control the outcome. We want to control the outcome. Like we could actually design something better than the creator.
Right.
God is like, to use an analogy, we like, oh God, I saw this really, really nice Toyota Camry. And he's like, but I wanted to give you a Lexus. I know, but you'll understand this Toyota Camry got leather seats and everything. He's like, so does the Lexus, but it's really, really fast. But the Lexus is faster. Oh God, please give me the Toyota Camry. And it's like, dude, I got something better for you. And we sit and we beg and beg and beg and beg. It's like, yo, eyes have not seen, no ears heard, no has it entered into the minds of men what God has in store for them who love him, or to them who called according to his purpose. I'm paraphrasing, yada yada. The
You're
whole
right.
fact of the matter is, we think we understand better than the Creator. We think we got it.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, hey yo, quit backseat driving.
Mm.
Quit backseat driving. Either you trust or you don't. Either you trust or you don't. And I trust that whatever situation comes my way, I'm
Mhm.
built for it, tough. I can handle it. I like being kind, so in every situation I'm in, I'm going to always look for the opportunity to be kind, even if the other person is not reciprocating that energy. I choose to be kind because that's who I am,
Yep.
and I work really, really hard not to change that up to me. I don't match energy. You can
Mm.
match mine, but I'm not matching yours.
Right.
You
I
know what I'm
believe that
saying?
as well.
I'm
Right.
gonna do me. And a lot of that is that it's that colonialism. They told us what we're supposed to chase after. They got us chasing after everything to the point that we haven't even learned to love ourselves. You were born enough. So then we get degrees and then we still like, ah, but that ain't it. Then we get the money, but that ain't it. But then we get married, but that ain't it. But then we have children, but that ain't it. But then we start businesses, but that ain't it. But then we get jobs. When will we just wake up and remember that we were born enough? We were just already enough. We were enough before we came here. We'll be enough after we leave. We were missing nothing. We came to have an experience. Have
Yeah.
it. Have it. Have it.
I think a
You
lot of that ties
go ahead.
into just having faith. I think a lot of people, why they stay in those scarcity belief systems and it's difficult for them to overcome them. One, who they're surrounding themselves with, like you previously mentioned,
Facts.
and two, just being comfortable just because that's what they're used to and they're just going through the motions. Like, let's just say, for instance, the average churchgoer, they're Sunday, they're there for Bible study Wednesday, they're saying they have faith, but yet whatever they perceive as wealth or some type of gain, they haven't moved anywhere. They're still in the same place. So it comes to a point where it's like, okay, you have faith, but what are you doing with it? How are you using your authority? I talked about this on the podcast that I did earlier this week, where God gives us the authority to demolish whatever negative and evil forces that are coming up against us. We have that authority. So if we're going around and we're saying we're Christian or whatever religious affiliations you have, and you have this faith in a higher power that's going to get you through, that's going to bring you these blessings and these rewards, why are you not using your authority to call these things to come to be versus just relying on what your pastor is saying? certain verses and scriptures that you read, how are you applying that faith and using that authority to actually better yourself?
I think the biggest challenge we have in that type of questioning
Mm-hmm.
is how do we measure bettering yourself? Because I think on some level, we think we understand what's better for other people. I'll put it this way. Hypothetically, hypothetically, what if the homeless man came here literally to experience homelessness?
Mm-hmm.
What if he was? I asked that question because when I was in high school, I remember I wondered. I don't know why I did this. I'm not saying this is intelligent. I'm just being transparent, saying that I did it. I was curious. I wondered how it felt to break a bone. I was curious. I wondered because I saw somebody break one. And I was like, man, you act like that hurt really all that bad, like drama queen. Like, does it really? I was curious. I was curious. And then I had the experience. I wasn't curious anymore.
I should say not. That's wild.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like sometimes we just be curious. Whether it's a piercing, why? Why would you put a hole in your body? Or a tattoo, why? Why would you mark up your skin? That's like putting paint on a Bentley. Why would you do that? It's perfect the way that it is. But we do it because we want the experience. We're curious. It doesn't increase the value. It doesn't make it any better. But we're
Yeah.
curious. We want the experience. And so why is my experience any more valuable than theirs? We're both learning things. We're learning different things.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put it to you like this. If I had to be homeless, let's just say, for instance, we're spoiled. We're Americans. We've never lived in a war-torn town where you can come home one day and your whole village is blown up, where basically you just became homeless overnight.
Right.
If I'll put it like, let's just say, for instance, that happens because we're all kind of like in the middle of war right now. Let's just say, for instance, everything we knew got blew up and we survived. And basically, we're out here scratching and surviving to make it from day to day. Which one of us do you think would be better suited to navigate that environment? Him or me? The suburban guy or the guy who's been living in a tent for the last 4 years.
Oh yeah, the one living in a tent.
So he has an education that I don't have. Well, I just don't see it as valuable because I'm not doing what he's currently doing. I'm not unhoused, which could change quickly. It could literally change overnight. And in which case I'd be like, oh shoot, wish I knew how to do that. I'm simply
Right.
saying, instead of us focusing on judging where other people are, whether they're successful or whether they're growing. We don't know their story. We don't know why they even came here. We don't know. We're still trying to figure our stuff out. How about we wake up and answer a couple of questions? One, who are we?
Mm-hmm.
Two, what do we want? Three, why do we believe either of those things?
Mm.
Who are we? What do you want? And why do you believe either of those things? And sit with that for a while. You want a G Wagon? Why? Why do you really want it? And if you don't get it, do you feel like you're less of a person? You feel like you failed?
All right. And if you feel like it's failure, according to whose standards?
You see where we're going with this thing? How
Yeah.
you gonna feel it being you?
Right. Yes. I like that perspective, and I definitely agree. I just don't vocalize it in certain spaces. One, because sometimes I just don't want to go through the debate.
Hmm.
But as far as you speaking about what if someone was here to experience homelessness, how, certain like terrible things can happen to people. And the first response is, "What, God, why? Like they were so good or they were so young. It's just a kid." And I'm in my mind, like I got to a point years ago where I came to the understanding of their soul came here for that. Their soul came here to, unfortunately, die in a school shooting, get hit by a butt, you know what I'm saying? And yes, our humanness is coming from the perspective, man, that's tragic. God, why did you let this happen? And God is like, they asked for it before they got here.
So two things. Well, maybe two things. One thing, I cried on the last episode of Martin
Okay, why?
when he wrote "One Love" on the wall. Like,
Yes.
shed a little tear on the last episode. I was like, man, it's over.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's over. Hey, yo, it ain't real.
Right. But you
And
connected with it.
man, we connected with something that ain't even real. We're connecting with something that isn't even real.
Right.
This ends. This
Yes.
life, this life, which is but a dream, it ends,
Is
and
a
we know it
dream.
ends.
Yes.
So, since
The
it's a
Matrix.
dream, enjoy the doggone dream. Enjoy the dream, live the dream, have the dream, but this dream will end. It's going to end. The question will be, what are you doing with it? And then people are like, well, when I get to the end of life, you don't know when that's going to be. So you better live today. Today could be like, hey, yo, wrap it up. And you're
Right.
like, but I wanted to X, Y, and Z. Well, did you? Well, who stopped you? Well, I stopped me. Oh, well, not this go round. Try it again next time.
Right. Like I gotta do this all over again. Like, well, you ain't learned the
Which is
first time, so now you gotta come back and try again.
I don't want to go too deep into it because anytime you start mixing, like touching on the realm of religion, people get really, they put up walls.
Oh,
They put up
absolutely.
they put up walls, and my goal is to try to reach people.
Hmm.
But your religious upbringing, thought process will open you up to certain things and will also close you off to certain things potentially.
Hmm.
If your religious upbringing gives you a linear mindset, I understand why you stressed out. There's a
Yeah.
beginning, there's a middle, and
In
there's an
the
end.
end, right.
I'd be stressed out with that one too.
Yeah.
I would argue that that particular belief process is a colonial one, but debatable.
Yeah.
But I would often also argue that many other tribes would argue that there's more of a circular. Ezekiel saw the wheel. Wait, okay, not that one. But Jacob climbing, climbing that ladder. Every round goes higher and higher. Why did it say every round? Round. Why is it round? Because
Oh,
like as you
right.
go up, you go round, which means at some point you come back to the same point, but you should be at the same point, but higher than you were before. So that at that point you have a different experience in the same point because you're not at the same level anymore.
Right.
But and that's like the basics of this stuff. But if the person hasn't even got that, I got it. You're gonna struggle
Yeah.
on
Because
certain things.
I definitely think way outside the box, and because I am definitely a believer in the multiverse and having the ability of whatever you want to achieve, whatever that looks like for the individual, somewhere that reality exists. And you have the ability through your mind to go to where that realm is and have that reality, have that existence. But again, to your point, if you are confined in those whatever certain religious structures, you can't even begin to fathom that. And then could even start being looked at as you demonic and all kinds of other stuff.
One has to, again, who are you? What do you want? And why do you believe either of those things? You have to answer those questions for yourself. And at that point, you're just at the doggone beginning. You're just at the beginning when you begin to answer those simple questions. But I also begin to understand that things happen usually the way that they need to. I'll put it this way. My dad, my biological father, died January before my fifth birthday. That
Hmm.
January. He hit a tree. He hit a tree. Had he lost control of the car a second earlier, he would have missed the tree to the right. If he lost control of the car a second later because it was going around a curve,
Hmm.
he would have missed the tree to the left. And when I say a second, I mean literally less than a second, but a second is a nice round number,
Hmm.
thing. You mean to tell me a second was the difference between him being here and him being gone? He was supposed to hit the tree.
Yeah. Wow.
him hitting the tree changed the whole trajectory of my life in ways I could never even imagine, especially as I get older and I've been meeting people and they've been telling me bits and pieces about who he was and things he was into.
Mm-hmm.
Just know this, my life would have been completely different.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It played, I'm not the closest to I love my parents. I'm just not the closest to my parents. You know, some people are lovey-dovey with their parents. That's not my lifestyle.
Yeah.
My wife speaks to her dad every day. I don't know what
Yeah.
that feels like. Um, but it also because I don't have it, I have a freedom. My wife and I were talking about moving to Ghana, and I remember her being like, "Oh, but I don't want to leave my dad." And I was like, "Man, I don't know what that feels like." You're anchored.
Yeah.
You're anchored. So even though this is something that you're interested in doing, on some level, you're anchored. I don't have that anchor.
Yeah.
Like, I'm free, but we don't oftentimes think of the cost of freedom.
Yeah. Got to sacrifice something to live the life
Freedom
that
ain't
you know
free.
you came here to live.
You know, so I'm looking at it, and I'm not saying one's right and one's wrong. That's not my
Hmm.
point. My What I am willing to say is that I've learned that things have played out the way they needed to play out. They have, and I'm learning also and I talked about this. It's funny. I'm weird. Talked about row your boat, a church on a couple Sundays ago, because it's a great message that we learned as children but never really understood. Okay, I'll take 60 seconds and break it down.
Go ahead.
So everything you need in life in one nursery rhyme. Row your boat. Why you say row your boat? Because you do have to put forth some effort.
True.
You do.
Hmm.
You do. You're supposed to do. We put here to do. Not a problem. It says your boat. And the one thing I like about a boat is a boat allows you to be in something but not actually in it. Like you're in the water, but you're not really in the water.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so what God has for us allows us to kind of be in it, but not really in it. But it says row the boat gently downstream, as in with the flow. We try
Hmm.
to go across stream or against the stream, and we wonder why it's so frustrating. No, you're supposed to row with the flow, not go with the flow. Row with the flow. Row in
Work
the
with
direction
it.
that the current is taking. Work with it. There you go. Gently downstream. And then it gives a good point. It says merrily, 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 merrily. Just in case you didn't hear it the first three times, I'm gonna give it to you a fourth. Put a smile on your face. Happiness does matter.
Hmm.
Joy is a powerful energy. Happiness is a powerful energy. Use that. Do it joyfully. And then it says finally, life is but
But
a dream. Now, the deepest question is who's the one dreaming? That's a whole nother question. But just know
right.
this.
Whole nother can of worms.
But know this: at some point, whoever's dreaming will wake up, and the
Yeah.
dream will be over until they choose to have another dream.
Agree.
This thing ends. So, row, go on downstream, experience life, go with the flow. But know this: this is just a dream. It's
Yeah.
just a dream. It feels real.
Hmm.
You ever woke up from a dream? You jumping out of bed like you know how many times I done kick Monica? Like I promise you, man, I'm an amazing hooper in my
My
dreams.
poor girl.
Like I be hitting jump shots and everything. She's like, dang it, put the basketball down, go back to sleep. You know, it's like she she be getting big mad because I'm like I be in the dream. It feels so real. And
Yeah.
when you in the dream you can't tell me it's not real
Right.
because it feels so real. But it's just a dream. And for most of us, we like, but it feels so real. It's just a dream. We'll wake up from it one day and we'll be like, dang.
Or is it? Because you know they say the dream is actually when your soul is wandering and you're in the spirit realm. So that's why this reality that we have is the matrix or the dream. And when we go to sleep, we're really going back to the spirit realm. It's just we've been conditioned to think that that's a dream when really us in these meat suits are the dream.
Well,
I sound like I said a bunch of nothing, but
no, you
hopefully you
didn't.
was
You
able to
didn't
follow
because
me.
I love this stuff and it's I love The Matrix. It's my favorite movie series. I watch it
Mine
over
too.
and over again. But one of the deepest things about the Matrix is when he wakes up from the Matrix, that's just another layer of the Matrix. Zion is not the real world. It was the second world that was created for anybody who broke free from the
Broke from the
first one.
first one. Ah, right.
And so there's layers. I'm
I
just saying
never
that
even thought about that.
there's so many layers to this thing. And I'm trying to oversimplify things that are very complicated and beyond my level of comprehension at current state. It just is what it
Yeah.
is. But I know this experience that I'm having it,
Hmm.
I'm choosing to have it. The colonial mindset that keeps me from enjoying it, I'm learning to let go of it and to stop defining myself through a Eurocentric lens. And I'm even starting to embrace some of the principles and teachings that my ancestors taught, things that more align with how I truly feel on the inside. I'm not saying I'm going back to everything. I'm not saying that I'm not. I'm just simply saying I'm looking at things and asking, does this serve me? And if it doesn't serve me, why am I
Why you
doing
doing
it?
it? Yeah.
So the belief that you have that's keeping you from being happy or that's making you feel like a failure, why do you have it? Or from a biblical standpoint, become as little children. Why? Why would he say become as little children? Because they don't have shame. They don't try to be anything. They
Hmm.
just be.
Right. They just
They're
are.
just
They don't
human.
know anything else. They haven't been taught and conditioned yet.
And then we start putting labels on them. And
Right.
and then trying to make them feel bad when they don't align with the label they never asked to have.
Man.
Many of the labels that we have, we didn't ask to have. It's time for us to give these labels back, these ideologies back, these standards back. It's time for us to say, you know what? I don't want to play this game anymore.
Yeah, man.
And it's going to be awkward because a lot of folk are like, "Hey, you better get back in line or boss going to get you. You just better listen. At some point, you got to just be like, nah, I ain't playing.
Right.
Life is like hot lava. Remember the game Hot Lava?
But hot.
Like we did like squares on the ground. We called it hot lava. We put pillows on the ground, right? And we would
Oh, okay.
pretend the carpet was hot lava, and you had to jump from pillow to pillow to
Yeah.
pillow.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while, one of my cousins or somebody would like miss the pillow, and I'm like, oh, you fell in the lava, and he'd be like, I ain't playing no more.
Right. Right. Because you done messed up.
For whatever reason, he decided I don't want to play. I don't like those rules. I ain't playing by it.
Mm.
And I looked at him like he was the bad guy. Why wasn't I the bad guy? I'm the one trying to force him to play with these imaginary rules we made up.
Mm. Mm. Perspective.
Who's the real
I like
villain?
that.
Who's the real villain? So getting back to all that when it comes to money and all that stuff, I'm not saying don't get money. If that's what you feel you're supposed to do, go get it.
Yeah.
If that's what you're genuinely inspired to do, go do it. But don't feel like if that's not your passion in life, then there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Because again, when you die, they're not gonna put down how much was in your bank account. I've done way too many funerals. Nobody has ever gotten up and talked about, man, he sure did make a lot of money.
Mhm.
They talk
Right.
about the impact that you have. So I think for most of us, if you really want to find that pace, the thing I love about my kids is not how smart they are or how talented they are. I think they're good people. I
Mm.
think they try to be honest. I think they try to be kind, even when they're rude. I think they try to be loving. I don't think they're out here trying to rob people. I think they're trying to be decent people, and I think they try to give and leave this world a little bit better than they found it. That matters to me. I don't care how much money they make. I care that I left kids who are good people.
Right. Yeah.
That's it. That's genuinely it. Don't care about anything. I don't care how many degrees they get or if they get degrees. I don't care about none of that stuff. Are you doing two things? One, are you a good person? And two, are you being who you believe you're supposed to be unapologetically and authentically? As long as they hit those two markers, I'm happy for them. Because all
Yeah.
the other stuff don't matter. It just doesn't matter. At least not to me. If it matters to you, anybody watching, I mean, you're
Your
welcome to. I'm
world,
not
your dream, your story.
not here to change anybody's mind. I have zero interest in it. But my pieces come from letting go of that colonialistic ideology of what success and happiness is supposed to look like. Because after you do all the things they tell you to do, and you still find yourself feeling like empty, you realize it's because it was never designed to fill you.
Exactly. That's why
Well, that
I
was
give journal prompts. So on Wednesdays, I have a thing on my social media accounts called Write It Out Wednesdays, where I give journal prompts as it relates to whatever topic we'll end up discussing on the live. And for this week, I actually want to share what I wrote, just to give someone, anyone who's watching, an idea of what that looks like, because I've had clients in the past where they tell me they don't even know how to journal, even with a prompt. Like, what is it supposed to look like? So for these prompts, I think there were 7 or 8. All of them have about 7 or 8. But for financial trauma and scarcity mindset, I wrote, before I earned it, I learned that money was hard to get. When you got it, it went towards bills, and there was never enough. Due to this, I associated money with stress and survival versus safety and power. When I do receive money, my first emotional reaction is relief to catch up on bills, get food, put gas in the car, then maybe extras like entertainment, grooming, other wants. Beyond finances, being broke meant not being able to participate in social outings, feeling less than because I couldn't afford trips or to partake in different hobbies and other things of that nature. I felt the most financially unsafe when major bills were due, but I also needed to feed myself and my daughter. This feeling was triggered because I was doing it alone and would have to choose one over the other, which just caused more stress. My financial reflected, my financial behaviors reflected survival mode versus stability, because I was always in the mindset of making or getting enough to afford just day-to-day life, instead of embodying the mindset that God and my divine spirit team would make sure I was financially provided for as long as I kept the right mindset and operated from a pure heart space. If I did that, they would move mountains in spirit to see that I had more than enough. I am ready to release the belief that money and financial wealth are difficult to attain and are not attracted to me. That ideal no longer serves me. Now, for anyone watching that has a similar experience and did these journal prompts, if yours doesn't look exactly like mine, that is perfectly okay. But I wanted to provide an example of how these journal prompts that I'm putting out every week, how they're supposed to help you. And when I wrote that, I also listened to the playlist that I make that coincides with the topic of the week. Is meant to be an immersive experience. I know with Mr. Jake here, we talked about some practicality. We talked about, some philosophical points a little bit, but I think for the day-to-day person, what matters most, if they're not ready to mentally and emotionally step outside of that box, they need those practical steps, things that make sense for them. Because I never want anyone to think, oh, she's just putting this out there because she's trying to gain the dollar amount, or she's trying to do this, whatever motives people think other people are coming from. It is because these are the things that I have learned work best, not only for me, but people that I've worked with, adults, families, the children that we serve. These things work. Now, as a mental health professional, this is why I love having you on, because I know I know people, they know my, I guess in their mind, lack of educational background, not realizing that life experience is education, and sometimes perhaps even more, because I literally had to learn through trial and error. There are certain things that you just can't learn from a book. There are certain things that just can't be taught. You have to live through it. But for those out there that may be watching that needs that educational part to the things that I'm saying, what advice would you give them or recommendation?
This is going to be very simple. It's going to be so simple that most people are not going to do it.
Love it.
Uh,
Give it to it.
it's going to be so simple, and I promise you, most people just aren't going to do it
Hmm.
because it's too simple. It's not
Hmm.
complicated enough. And it's what I do with almost all my clients. We keep coming back to the same question. Who are you?
And you said, yep.
I ask them, who are you? Because if I see myself as a doctor,
Hmm.
like I truly believe that's who I am. Like I believe it, not somebody I'm going to be a doctor. I'm already there.
Hmm.
Then my grades will reflect it.
Hmm.
I see myself as an NBA player, then my workouts will reflect it. If I see myself as a husband, then my actions out here in these streets will reflect it.
Right.
If I see myself as wealthy, then how I treat and respond to money will reflect that. We have to keep asking ourselves that question, and sometimes multiple times throughout the day. Who am I? Dr. Linda James Myers would argue that all of our stress and trauma would come from one of three things: how we view ourselves, how we view the world, and how we view ourselves in relationship to the world.
Hmm.
And if I and if, from my experience, if I had to pick one, it seemed to be the umbrella one. It's how you view yourself. Because once you shift the identity from the fake one that you've been adopting to finding out who you really are, you move differently.
Yeah,
You
for
don't
sure.
certain things you need. I used to need people to agree with me. I don't care if you agree with me now. I used
Hmm.
to need people to like me. I don't care if you like me. Uh, you liking me is not my goal. You agreeing with me is not my goal. Like I'm going to be me. That's just it. I know that I know that me and money have an amazing relationship, and that whenever I need money,
Hmm.
I ha- I have it because it's already mine. And it may not come the way that I want it to,
Yeah.
but it has always shown up. And when it didn't show up, it's because that's not what I was supposed to be doing with it. And had it shown up then, I would have done with it what I thought I was supposed to do with it versus what was supposed. If I had to let go, where I live now, I couldn't have come up with that. What I drive, I couldn't have come up with that, and it's only getting better. I
Yeah.
had to really let go, just like Jake. You can't walk like you're hoping you're this person. You just have to truly embody it and carry it. Your energy just has to say you're that person. And then once you truly believe you are who you are, life reflects it. And let me give this one for free. Tyler Perry, what does he look like? It depends on the season that he's in. If
Hmm.
you're looking at one of his early seasons, he looks like a man living out of his car.
Right. Because that's how you started.
Acorns don't become oak trees. Acorns are oak trees.
Hmm.
That's just what an oak tree looks like in its infancy stage. You look real different in your infancy stage as well. An embryo is a human
Right.
being. You look real like squirmish, like little tadpole-ish.
Right. Facts.
But there's no point where you become a human. You always were a human. That's just what you look like in that particular phase. Sometimes what we do is we want ourselves to look like a different phase. Like, no, that's not what you look like in the phase you're in right now. The phase you're in right now is what millionaire looks like at this phase.
Right.
Millionaire at this
You're
phase look
wrong.
homeless. Millionaire at this phase look jobless. Millionaire at this phase looks broke. That's what it just
Hmm.
looks like. That's part of the process. You trying to jump to the end, you're not at the end.
Hmm.
Right now, you are ingredients mixed in the vat, and you ain't even in the oven yet. Like this is what you look like right now.
You
And
still in prep.
at what point does a cake become a cake? At what
Is it
point?
when it's done baking or is it when you put the icing on?
Is it when it's in the oven? Is it when you've mixed all the ingredients?
Right. Is it when you decide that you're about to make a cake?
Listen, listen. And that probably is the word. You can probably go ahead and take up the offering right now. That's probably the word right now. A cake is a
Doors
cake
of
when
the church is open.
when you made a decision to make a cake.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the cake became real. The cake became real the moment you made the decision. You not the choice, the decision. The decision means to kill off
Yes.
any other options or possibilities. The moment you made the decision who you are, you're it.
Facts.
So stop choosing, make a decision about your money, about whatever it is with you. Like, but you really got to get to that question: who are you? Because honestly, if you just try to focus on the money and stuff first, you'll get the money and you'll still be asking that question. And then you'd be one of those people that we hate, like billionaires. People like, I hate my life. I'm like, I could punch you in the throat.
Right,
Like, for real.
man.
Because
Setting the intention. Love it.
I love me. And you are exactly who you're supposed to be. Embracing it. And if the money's supposed to be there, it'll be there when it's supposed to be. It is. And if it ain't there yet,
wait on it.
check
Just mean you got more growing to do.
when you don't need proof,
Mm-hmm.
that's when it's there. When you don't need proof to believe it. When you don't need proof. When you don't need to check your bank account and you believe in that person. If you need the proof, you're not it, you'll lose it. If you need the money to believe you have it, if you need the relationship to need you have it, if you need the job to believe you have it, if you need to already have it to have it, you don't get how creation works.
Agreed.
The moment it entered into the mind of God, it had to exist. It just had to. The moment it entered into the mind of God, God being an unlimited mind, the moment it entered, the moment the concept came there, it had to exist. The moment we make it up in our minds, it has to exist. It already does exist. It already did exist. We're just catching up to it. We'd be cool though.
Absolutely. So y'all heard it from a licensed therapist. Intention. Who do you want to be? See, I post things for a reason. Those Sunday intentions that I set for you guys for a week. I didn't just pull that out of thin air. It is to help you break these cycles. That way you can move into the realm and be the person that you feel that you are. Once you answer that question, who are you?
One slight change though. Now, thank you. You said, who do you want to be? I was like, no, I ain't
Right,
say that.
now who you want to be, who you are.
Who are you?
Who are you?
we are human beings, not humans becoming. We are human beings. You are to be. All right, there we go.
Yes. Set the intention to start your journey. Click the link in my bio, get the Choosing Me Transformation Bundle so you can begin doing that groundwork to figuring out who are you. All right. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, 888 Coaching on all three. Thank you so much, Mr. Jake, for joining me again for another week for our Therapy Thursdays. Go ahead and tell the people how they can reach out to you, get in touch with you.
Oh, same thing. My life now on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, MySpace.
MySpace? You do not still have a MySpace.
No, but that's what's up, man. Love you all. Appreciate you all. Don't do drugs because they're bad for you. See you all in a week.
See you guys. See you on the next one. Peace.